The wind touches everyone. It does not discriminate, nor does it judge. It takes our breath away in many ways, and yet it doesn't speak a word.
Okay, so how's it going? I don't know, how's it going?
It's great.
Yeah? How many of you would say it's going from good to great?
I am currently in Barcelona, Spain, studying and also interning. I have, I think, 3 weeks left here, and it's really like surreal, and I want to go back home, but then I don't want to go back home, so it's kind of just like a mix of emotions. But I mean, this has been probably one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. I already have sort of gained is understanding and just a lot of self-reflection on the privileges that I have that maybe I didn't really see before, and now I see now, of course. Barcelona is a city with cathedrals literally everywhere, and they're so beautiful. What does this mean for other people? You know, this presence of a higher power that I know exists. It's like standard for Americans and for everyone to be believing in something or not believing in anything at all. So it's like you have to make a decision. Its branches may shake with fear in times of discouragement, in times of fear, but the wind always returns, erasing the problems of the world.
Okay, so currently this is my first time abroad, everything. I'm really amazed just to have the opportunity to be here, honestly. I'm currently interning in Barcelona, Spain for an architecture firm because my degree is going towards being architectural design. I'm paying for my own college. Literally, how much I have grown and become independent while learning how to understand to ask for help has just been like really amazing to experience. I need to grind 10 times harder because as big as my dreams are, as big as my goals are, everything is possible. But what am I willing to forsake? Regardless, I don't care what I'm going through. No one is stopping me. God is with me. And you know what? Like, I'm going to do everything I want. I'll be very honest. I'm still in my first year of Christianity, and I do not have everything figured out. But with the way that I have seen, not even figured out, like I'm saying, like there are so many more different layers that I can unveil that will be unveiled to me by God. That's what I'm saying.
We did!
And you're going backwards.
What do I want to call you?
You're going backwards.
What do you want? Hey, what do I want to call you? You're Ellen. What will I be?
Ellen and
Lillian.
Lillian.
I love it.
Hi, Lillian.
Lillian.
Although some of us may fight it when it pushes us to the ground, others accept its nature and hope it frees them in return.
So I am in Barcelona for 2 months and I'm interning at Click Lab, and they help with social justice oriented projects, and then they also help businesses like reconstruct, whether that be socially or organizationally or behaviorally. I either like really enjoy being alone because I can ignore everybody from home. But I also get like lonely too. Just coming to terms with like being alone and like being okay with that and not relying on like other people or to like give myself happiness. I definitely still pray like when it comes to worrying about like I guess death and it being like death within like people around my age, just because like that's that extreme that I worry so much about. I feel bad for like being in this space right now because I feel like I need to commit like either I'm a Christian or like I'm spiritual or I'm atheist, like what am I, you know? I feel like I figured out so much while I've been here, like about my personality, myself, my relationship with my boyfriend, like all of that, but religion, like I avoid it so much. I need like I need somebody to tell me like I feel like what I want to commit to, but I don't know what that is, so.
Trees, though high and strong, I used to wonder, do they ever feel alone? Until I learned that what the eye can see is nothing compared to what lies beneath. Beneath, the roots soar deep, connecting one another in a way so unique. Actually, I moved all over the place. I moved from Raymore to Lee Summit, then to Blue Springs, and I was often switching to different schools. Either I was at private Christian schools, which was mainly where I was at probably up until middle school, where I then transitioned into a public school district. My parents eventually divorced, you know, with 3 kids, my mom, and she raised us, really, for the most part. She is the reason I am the way I am now, so shout out to my mom. The church for her and for me personally wasn't as welcoming as I had hoped it would be towards us. At a specific time, I have experimented with a lot of different ones.
So my parents were married from when I was young till 3rd grade, which I always say I'm very blessed to have them have. I've seen a marriage, like I've seen them together. Like I know what it's like to be in a household and have mom and dad. Versus like I know at the same time like, hey, they are two completely different people, and divorce is an okay thing. Like it's okay. You would rather be happy alone, be with somebody else, than be together and not be happy. That's not healthy for children, and I'm very blessed that they did get a divorce. Honestly, my mom is still married to my stepdad Ron, and then my dad is still living his life with his friends. So I was brought up in. Okay, so my parents were never Baptist, but they were Christian. I was brought up in a black church, and honestly, it would be my parents were never forceful, but at the same time, black parents are black parents. So you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so yeah. And so like whenever they went to church, I had to go to church too. Like they waking up and go to church, you wake up and go to church too.
I have an older brother, and my parents like they're still together. So I grew up in a 2-parent household. Which I like as I got older I realized like I was really lucky to like grow up like that because a lot of people don't. I grew up in the church, so I was like christened and like went to Bible study every Wednesday, church every Sunday, sang in the choir since I was like probably like 3 or 4 up until I graduated. So I was like born and raised in the church, basically. Not born and raised, but like raised in the church.
I'd say it was about this past fall semester, and I was really needing an outlet, needing a place where I could just feel really good energy because I wasn't really receiving it. Once you're around negative energy, negative people, and just it can kind of consume you if you let it. And I felt it sort of taking over me, along with other things that I was dealing with and going through. It wasn't the best situation. And so I was searching. I was really searching. Just for an outlet. I started attending Bible study. A lot of times I would feel super, super uplifted and motivated, and other times I would just feel confused again because I don't know if I believe in what you guys believe in. I don't know if we believe in the same things, but I still feel like I'm benefiting from hearing these motivational speeches, and having someone else say it just solidifies the fact that what I'm going through is real and what I'm experiencing is real. Was great to me.
Leave it up to the wind to send the nest crashing to the ground, but only if you let it.
I owe my life to somebody besides my parents. And it's this lady, Miss Onda, the most amazing person I've ever met in my life. Like, whew, she's giving me just shivers just talking about her. She tells me her whole life story. And in her life, the people that were going through struggles that were related to me were the exact same people in her life, and their order was the same as that chronological order. Whereas in her life, those people had actually died in her life, and then it was towards the same thing, like suicide and depression. Just tears, I just kept crying. And me, I'm the type of person, if I cry, it's deep, like it's really deep. When I cry, it got to be a lot. So I just started crying. And so then I was just like, I want to give my life to Christ. I'm so corny, I know. I could just literally see branches breaking, trees breaking in like the sky. I was just like, what is going on? Oh, he real, huh?
Do you believe it's there? Even in the quiet of the storm, do you let the window open even when no one's there? Its work is invisible. I cannot see it. Neither can you.
Where I'm from, like, a lot of people my age have been dying lately. So, like, whether that be suicide, overdoses, like gun violence. And it's just been hard for me to witness, I guess, just because, like, I feel like that could be me. I feel like that could be anyone that I, like, surround myself with. If my time is going to come, if somebody who's, like, extremely close to my heart's time will come, and that, like, not necessarily gives me anxiety, but just, it's on my mind a lot, basically.
So, yes, I believe in afterlife, definitely. I definitely believe that there is heaven, and I definitely believe that there is an enemy. If you do X, Y, and Z, you're going to hell. No, do I believe in that? I don't. I'm gonna just say, like, I don't know. I feel like the difference between like going to hell and everything, I feel like that's up to him. And I feel like that's another thing we do as people. Like, why are we trying to, like, it is just evil of me and just like not godly of me to say that as a human being, like, oh, you're going to hell, or like, oh, you do this, this is what you're gonna be. He judges everything, not me.
And actually, when I was growing up, my Bible study lady, like, teacher, she was talking about, like, hell is, like, the worst thing that you can imagine. Like, whatever fear that you have, like, that's what it is. And so, like, I always think of, like, my brother, he's scared of tornadoes. And so, like, I remember my mom saying, like, yeah, so it'd just be, like, one continuous tornado going for the rest of your life, or something like that.
I think that there is an afterlife, but I don't think it's full of, clouds and full of clouds. I think that it looks exactly like it looks right now. The world that we live in, just with no crime, no, like, negative vibes, just all positive things. And
from my understanding, heaven is like you praising God for eternity. And I just don't quite understand that all the time. Like, I don't know. I guess it's like the selfish part of me. Like, okay, like what else? Like,
I want to talk about hell. Do I think there is a hell? I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. I think if there is, if I want to say there is, I feel like it would look more like blackness, just like a dark hole, and where you can't feel anything.
I'm very focused on creating God's heaven on this earth while I'm here.
I honestly try and live out the best life that I can, or the most positive and uplifting way that I can. At the end of the day, at least I know I'm putting out good energy instead of bad energy.
But I feel a power within me, within you. I raise myself like that of a tree, intertwined with the flowers and intertwined with the leaves, releasing my worries for the wind to consume. It takes me as I am and asks for little in return. Hallelujah.